We're going to compare three very cool practice amplifiers as supplied by Music Varelt in Bellville, thanks to Fissy and everybody there. We're going to see what each amplifier offers. We're going to plug it into the same guitar the whole way through. So this black Strat you're looking at over here, that's going to be the source for all three amps. And we're going to start with the Nux 8BT. We're then going to cross over to the Boss Katana Mini. And we're going to end off with the Blackstar, which is unfortunately no longer on the market, but it's just nice to compare the different amplifiers, and I have three in a row, so I thought I'd include that one too. We're going to start off with the Nux, and we're going to see what does the Nux offer me regarding its facilities. Now, when I say facilities, I mean what effects does it have? Does it have different channels? Does it offer overdrive, delay, reverb? This one over here, just quickly, offers drums. That's a very cool feature for starters, especially if you want to practice. Now, other nice functions over here is a modulation delay, which is this one over here, that will give you choruses, phaser, flanger. Delay is another word for echo, and it's got a separate reverb, so you can use reverb and echo. Nice functions. It's got a one-band tone control, and then this over here will change color and make strange noises. Again, the guitar's not plugged in yet. And you can see as it changed color, basically it offered me overdrive and distortion, hence the noise. Also microphone input. I don't really overly passionate about this, but it's a nice to have if you want to sit and busk. Now the cool thing with batteries, first of all, is that it's portable. So now the next step, we're going to see what does the Katana Mini have to offer. Boss has always been making nice amplifiers over the years. I'm very passionate about Boss as well. There's a lot of good brands in the market lately as well, so I'm not trying to hint at one's better than the other. Test them all, see what you like. What's nice about the Katana specifically, it has a delay, which is quite cool as well. Some amplifiers don't even have a delay, it's just basically volume and tone. I don't know why they do that. Always have a reverb or delay function. It just gives three-dimensional depth, which I'll demonstrate later. Over here, 3-band EQ, bass, middle, and treble. Remember, the Nux only had the single band, but then it had other features again, like the chorus and the modulation and the drums. So each amplifier has a special, unique quality that might or might not be relevant. And over here, basically, brown is a type of distortion overdrive, crunch, more overdrive, and clean. So you've got three different channels in a sense as well. So also a very, very nice amplifier. It's physically smaller, which means it's a little bit more portable as well. So you're not going to gig with any of these amplifiers really. They're nice for sitting in your room and having fun with. And the bottom line is, because the batteries, if Eskom goes out on you, or if you just want to sit in your room and have fun or go outside and sit in the garden, these amplifiers can do that. And to finish off with, the Blackstar Fly, like I said, regrettably no longer on the market. This is nice for teaching. I've been teaching with them for some time. The only downside is that they're very, very weak in power, very low on power. I think they're 2 or 3 watts, where the Nux is 8 and I think the Katana is 5. I'll double check on those facts now for you. But it's got a delay, which is quite nice. It's got only 1-band EQ, so it's a bit restricted. And you've got your gain and volume with a little button for overdrive and crunch, which is also very, very cool. The best way to make a decision now is to plug them all into the same Fender we said at the middle, or at the beginning of the video rather, sorry, and listen to it and make up your own mind what you think sounds best. We're going to run each amplifier through on a clean, clear test first of all, for those that like a pure, clean, good tone, your source of your sound for starters. This is the Nux with no effects at all. More of a chordal use. Nice, good quality sound. It's nice and warm. All the strings seem balanced. And if you go a bit more funky, so far so good. Nice start off it. Let's see how the other amplifiers compare on the same setting. So we're not going to test the effects yet. We're going to we'll test each amplifier quality for quality, and then you can make up your mind which you think sounds cool. Next up, the Boss Katana. First of all, I'll set the EQ on flat. In other words, your bass, middle, and treble is set on zeros. The Nux was the same. It makes everything sort of fair. Delay switched off, so again, running completely dry. And let's hear what this little Katana sounds like for a small, tiny amplifier. Sounds good so far. Nice tone. And the same funky sound. I must be honest, so far these two amplifiers we tested, their clear tone is actually quite impressive. They sound quite big for a small little amplifier. Now, just to give you an idea of the effectiveness of a 3-band EQ, I'm going to turn the treble over here so you can boost it. You can hear. Treble off. You can hear the sound is more swallowed. In other words, it's not as projected if the treble's turned down. Your mid-range gives more of a sort of a warmer middle tone to it, or we can take it out. Personally, I still prefer it in the middle. These, of course, are all very, very personal. Same with bass as well. Some guitarists might like more bass. And sometimes it's difficult to even hear how these tone controls affect it, depending on your guitar as well. But it is quite a bit of a difference as well. So play around with it. There's no wrong tone. Okay, if you like the tone, that's good. And that's what gives everybody their own unique sound. We're going to switch over now to the little Fly, and let's see what the Fly sounds like. And no, I haven't zoomed out. The amplifier just is physically smaller. Okay, we're setting the EQ again to middle. You can see the EQ sitting there quite clearly. The gain's pretty much the same, and the volume sort of similar as well to what we did with the Katana. Now, this is a much smaller amplifier, which means speaker size is smaller as well. You're going to do the same riffs. It's not bad. I'm also going to switch the echo off there. I realized it was on. Also gives you a bit of sort of primering it into what echo sounds like. And let's just try that again. It's not a bad sound. It's also quite a nice sound. Not too bad as well. And then your clear sound. And your funky sound. Now, personally, sometimes bigger is better. When I'm referring to bigger is better, is the larger your speaker size, the more air it can move, because obviously the smaller the speaker, that can't really push much air. So when you got a bigger speaker, you naturally get a more warmer, deeper, richer, smoother tone, which of course is also dependent on the quality of your speaker. So a small, really good speaker could arguably sound a lot warmer and richer and fuller than a cheap, bigger speaker. So it's a combination. Check your gear properly, make sure you get good brands. But bigger is better, provided they're all sort of good equipment. So we're going to go back to the Nix now, and we're going to compare what effects are actually available from it. Okay, other than the cool flashing light at the bottom, you can see the tone setting was flat as well. So every amplifier has been set up more or less the same way. We're first going to play with the reverb, which is going to be the bottom in the right hand corner there. And we're going to see what reverb does with an amplifier. Reverb naturally lends depth. So if you listen to the guitar now, it's very quiet, very short. There's no sort of depth. So it doesn't sound like you're standing in an empty school hall or sort of inside your bathroom where the echo sort of naturally reverbs. Now listen to this quickly. I'm going to just dial up full reverb on this and listen to the difference. You can hear that after sort of sound. That just gives you a nice 3D sort of quality. Now while you're playing, you might not appreciate it or hear it. Bit more of a shorter reverb. So you can control the amount of depth quite nicely with this over here. But it just gives such a nice sort of liveliness to it. All your professional musicians do use a bit of reverb to sort of give a more three-dimensional placing in the studio. You can hear it's got some depth to it, and if I do the same thing with the reverb off now, you can hear it's gone. Now, the other two amplifiers don't have reverb, so I'm not going to compare them. Okay, I'm going to go to the delay because the other ones do offer that. Now, delay, echo, very similar sort of effect to it. And on the looks over here, you can see in the corner, there's your modulation and delay. So you can have modulation or echo delay. I'm going to put a delay, and I'm going to put the reverb up a bit, or the level of the echo up a bit there. And this is what it's going to sound like now. There we go. Can you hear the echo there? And you can also judge how much you want to. You can have a lot less of it, almost negligible, or you can have a whole lot of it. So it's a very, very nice function to have. We'll do the delays on the other amplifiers as well now, but we're also going to quickly see what modulation it has to offer. Slight hint of chorus, not too promising, but oh, that's a nice chorus sound. And if I take it off, you can hear the difference there. No modulation. And with modulation, we're going to have this. Nice chorusing effect. It also gives a nice, almost like a 12-string effect to it within reason. Now, the drums as well, by the way, also quite good fun. So if you're sort of playing around with a bit of drum beat, you can have something like this. There's your drums. You can get different sounds of it. So you can really have some pretty cool fun with this as well. Okay, we're going to go to the next amplifier. We're just going to go through the delays and we can hear what their quality sounds like. Katana's back in action. Very nice quality delay as well. To be quite honest with you, technology today has come so far that the new product range is actually really fantastic. So you really do get quality the whole way through. I'm just going to play with the time setting now with a delay. Much more quicker, almost like a slapback doubling effect. And a nice long Pink Floyd sort of favorite. Something like this. So very nice for the dramatic effect as well. So I'm loving the delays on both the Nooks and the Boss. And to be quite honest, I don't know which one I favor better. So I'm going to let you make your own decisions for this. We're going to try the Blackstar now. Here we go. And the Blackstar. Now I've purposely put the delays quite high with all of them. So you can get more of a comparison of what the delay sounds like. And the quality of the Blackstar for its size is also fantastic. So it's not really necessarily a fair comparison for the per Blackstar, because it's running with a tiny speaker against two beautiful amplifiers with much bigger speakers. They all got very good quality construction circuitry inside it. And so far between these three amplifiers, if I had to choose one, I'm not quite sure. But hopefully you're getting an opinion of what it's. I normally like features, so I'm a bit of a feature junkie, and if you're new to guitar, you obviously want to experiment with different pedals, and if you haven't got money for the pedals, a good practice amp with lots of different options like choruses, delays, reverbs, and the drum box tends to make us lean a lot more towards the Nooks, for example. But if you want something that's a bit more smaller and portable, the Boss quality also outstanding. It'd be difficult to say which is the better clear sound. It's really personal opinion, but let's try some distortions and see what you think. You might hear a bit of hum in the background. That's just a single chord from the Strat. But I've gone for distortions first for the guys that like a bit more sort of the hard rock. And it's got a really nice tone. Nice little bit of shredding. Nice gain to it. Could maybe need a little bit more gain, but I think it's pretty cool. I could really spend endless hours having fun with this amount of gain. Nice and crunchy, nice and tight, nice and clean sound. So very good quality distortion inside here. Let's hear the Boss features. Okay, time for the Boss. We're going to do sort of similar riffs. You can listen to and decide for yourself. That was pretty sweet. I must say, the Boss Katana seems to offer a bit more gain. So if you're into more sort of hard rock metal, perhaps the Boss is maybe a better option. Bit more gain around 50. So you want that little overdraft. Got a nice crunchy sound to it as well. So also very good tone, nice quality. I love the Katana too, and again, if I had to make a choice between the two, it would be a tough decision here. Both stunning amplifiers. I'm not even going to try the poor Fly on this because the Fly is just too small, I think, against these two monsters. So in short, both beautiful amplifiers. It all depends what you want. If I had to make a choice, I'd have to think about it, but I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something from this. And otherwise, have an awesome week. Take care. Thank you, Miss Sick Farrell, for the amplifiers.